The bumper is all installed now, and it looks really good. I'm really happy with that. Well, now it's time to put the peripherals on there. I don't have the trailer plug yet. It's in the mail, and looking at it, it says it was delivered to Petersburg today, so it should be put in the mailbox today or tomorrow. But that had a broken off pin in it, and I think it's on the main battery cable. Well, anyway, I could see a little bit of corrosion in there and stuff on some of those pins, so that's one of the things I got to do is clean that up. And then I've got the Schrader valves for the airbags. I'm going to need to ream out the holes in it's just in the plastic right there where that mounts. I've got to ream out those holes and put the Schrader valves through there. I sprayed the license plate down with some cleaner. I'll scrub it down. I can put the license plate on there. Well, I think that's all I got left to do. Oh, I've got light bulbs or lights coming for the tail lights, and they're in Anchorage. They got shipped UPS. UPS sends everything to Anchorage, and then it can sit there for 2 or 3 weeks before it gets a flight down here to Petersburg. So who knows when they're going to be here, but I was hoping that stuff would be here today or tomorrow, but we'll see. Anyway, the first thing, I've got to get this jack cleaned up. It's going to take a little bit to get this plug cleaned up and ready for the new plug when it comes. So I sprayed that out with a little cleaner, and I tried to grab that with a pair of needle nose, but it wouldn't reach in there and get it. May have to take the plug apart to get it. I don't know. I got a pick here now, this little scribe. Now I could always cut this plug off of here and use the one for the trailer. That one works fine, but I don't really want to do that. So let's see if we can get this thing apart. Well, I can't figure that out. I used to have these special tools in the Air Force for using to release the pins on these jacks to pull them out. Some of them you can run a screwdriver down in there along the pin in the front of it, and it'll push. There's a little tab on the pin that goes in there that locks in, and that pushes that in, and then you can pull the wire out. I bought this kit with a bunch of different keys on it or pins on it for doing that for different styles of stuff. I thought maybe I'd get that to work, but I got to figure out which one's the right one here, so I guess I got to disassemble this other jack and see what I can do. That worked. So now what I got to do is I've got these are metal brushes about the size for like cleaning out the openings in a cutting torch. See, but I've also got some brushes. I've got 2 of these pins that are dirty. That is a lot better. Alright, now I've got some Dow Corning 4, some DC4 dielectric grease. I'm going to put some dielectric grease down in the back of this jack here. It'll lubricate that seal. It's going to squeeze out of here, a lot of it. It'll help lubricate this seal going in there and the wires, and keep any water out of it. Well, I'll get some electrician's tape and tape that wire loom back up, and it'll be just like new. Well, I bought this a while back, and it's an LED light strip supposed to go in here like this, but I don't know how it works now. It's been so long that I've had it, and I lost the instructions on it, so let's see what happens here. It plugs into the 4-pin, and this 4-pin receptacle is in pretty bad shape. It's hung down there underneath the trailer for so long. It's pretty crusty. I mean, underneath the truck so long, it's pretty crusty. You know, it doesn't look like it works. Something doesn't work there. Maybe that doesn't work anymore. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. We got a turn signal and a tail light. Alright, there's the tail light. There's the turn signal. Battery voltage just barely showing any. Alright, that's what that missing pin is for. It's for the reverse light. And this one doesn't work. Okay, let's try the other side. Just so much corrosion in there. It doesn't want to work. Let's see if I can get it. Nope. Oh, there it goes. Alright, I got flashing lights, so that's the right hand turn signal there. Cool. Got a backup light. So that's working. I don't want to work on the right, on the left tail light. There it goes. There it goes. Got a lot of corrosion in there. In fact, most of the metal is gone. Most of the barrel that feeds that is gone. So that means I got to replace that 4-pin plug. If it's going to work. No wonder it didn't work. I noticed the last time that we towed the float plane trailer, or maybe it's a boat trailer, I don't remember. I know the last time that we pulled the trailer that the lights didn't work the way they should have, even though I thought I had them pretty well fixed up on the trailer. You can see now why they didn't work, because they used this 4-pin socket, and it is no good. I can look in there with the light and I can see that this one socket is almost completely gone in there, all corroded out. But this thing is hung down underneath the back of the pickup ever since it was new, picking up all kinds of road crap and everything. And it's a wonder that it works all right. Well, let's see what we can do about it. I think I've got a new wiring harness, a new plug for that. Oh, what? Well, come here. Well, come here. Oh, yes. There's my girl. Oh, yes. There's my girl. Oh, yes. That's my girl. Oh, hello. Oh, yes.
Wow, there's a lot of wires sticking out.
Oh, yes. That's my girl. I had a...
A what?
That's corrosion in this main. This is the jack for the main plug for the big 7-pin plug for the trailer. And there was one pin broke off in there. I had to get that out. Well, I was just looking at this trailer one, this little 4-pin one, and it's got corrosion in there, and one of the barrels is corroded out on it. So
Gotta get new
I
ones.
gotta replace that.
I know you do.
All right, so here's a new wiring bundle. Made that a little bit longer, got them cut off staggered so that the splices are staggered on there so we don't make one big bundle. Now I gotta get my heat gun back out again. There it is right there, and it's plugged in. I just gotta plug the cord into the wall. Alright, now let's give it a try. Now that I've changed that light, that plug there, it works fine. So put this back there like that. When I get the new jack for the trailer 7-pin outlet, and wire that in, and then I can put this on. But it's getting late now, so I think I'm going to call it a day. Plug for the light fixtures, or for the backup plug, it has 8 wires in it, but the ones that go into the trailer only have 7 pins on them, and the trailers are 7-pin plugs. Well, I was kind of wondering what that 8th pin was, so I got to doing a little research today online. I finally found a wiring diagram, and they run 2 ground wires to that plug. None of the plugs going to the trailer have that extra ground wire, that second ground wire. So I was just going through the pins on that, and I ohmed out, checked the resistance between the ground and those 2 pins, and they're definitely ground. And then I was checking the voltage on the rest of the pins, and they all work except for the power, auxiliary power one, and that one doesn't work. And that has a tendency to blow the fuse out up there in the fuse panel. I'm pretty sure that's what's wrong with it. So my wife just came back from town and the post office, and I got the new plug to hook on there. So I guess that's what we'll do now, is to hook that up. Right, Rocky? Right, Rocky? That's all I got. I got no more chicken strips. That's all I got. That's all I got, Rocky. That's all I got. Well, this is a 2008 truck, and with the tow package on it, it came with a receptacle for the trailers, but the one it came with was just a single receptacle here, and it had this 4-pin receptacle just dangling down underneath. Anyway, the original one is set up there like that, so it just has a straight hole in it. But this one is bigger. It has a tab here on this side for the wire harness to go up into the 4-pin harness here. And that's cut out in this bumper, but it's got a rubber or plastic here. This plastic shield that goes over it is not cut out for that. So that's what I got to do now, is cut that out. Open that up a little bit. You'll see how that cuts. Oh, it cuts pretty easy just with a knife. Now the other one on the other bumper, I had to file that out because it wasn't set up for this. But this bumper is all cut out for that extra tab. Well, that can go in there just like that. So this thing comes with a bracket here to mount it up down under here someplace. But I don't need that. And it comes with screws and lock nuts on it, and the holes in the bumper are too big for the nuts. But the original came with this little plastic nut plate that goes on there, and it's got cutouts here for that extra tab, but they're on the wrong side. The screw holes won't line up with that. So I guess what I'm going to do is get a file and cut this, file that out a little bit there, so that fits on there. I don't know how it was on there on the other one because it didn't get filed out for it. But and this is the one here that I came off of there. That's the one I'd put on a few years ago, and of course it worked. But the problem is that the door on there broke off, and that's got a little tab on it that hooks onto the plug when it comes in here and goes into the socket to hold it in place. Oh, anyway, I decided to go ahead and replace that, and it's exactly the same thing. Well, the standard OEM plug that come on this truck just had the 7-pin plug wired into the bumper or mounted into the bumper like this one is, and it had the 4-pin flat plug just dangling down underneath. Well, yesterday I got checking it out and it wasn't working, so I had to replace that one because it dangles down underneath and it gets a lot of crap and corrosion and stuff in it. Anyway, I replaced it and got it working, and now I'm putting in this plug. Well, this one's a little different than the standard OEM one because it has this 4-pin flat plug mounted onto it, and it has a little key tab molded in here. So I had to cut out the bumper for that. Now the original bumper, I had to file that out, the whole bumper out for this tab to fit into. But this bumper comes with it already notched out for it, except for the plastic cover over the bumper. I had to notch that out to fit. The kit comes with a mounting plate that's set to screw up and mount on the trailer hitch somewhere or under the bumper. But I didn't need that because we're mounting it right into the bumper itself. So I can put that away. And it came with 4 screws and 4 nuts to mount it in, plus 2 screws and 2 nuts to mount it up to whatever, but 4 screws and 4 nuts to mount it up to this mounting plate. Well, that's fine, except for the nuts were too small. The holes in the bumper wouldn't have held. They were too big for those nuts to fit on there and without pulling through. The original receptacle had a plastic backing plate, nut plate kind of on the back of it there that it mounted up to, the screws went into. I had to modify that a little bit by filing out for the notch for that tab, for this tab. Anyway, I had to modify it a little bit for it to fit over there properly. And I've mounted it up on there now, and the 2 screws on this side fit in there fine, but the 2 on the other side, they're spinning in it. They're kind of stripped in there. And I could leave it in there like that, but I'm not going to do that. I was looking for longer screws to make sure they were long enough to fit through there, and I did find longer screws, and they're close. These are number 6s though, the ones that I've got. But the ones that go through there must be metric because they're smaller than a number 8. Anyway, the 6s wouldn't fit in there properly. Anyway, since those 2 on the other side are a little bit too small, I got those longer number 6s, and I've got some locking nuts to put on them. And I'll take those 2 screws out of there, put the 2 new screws in, and put the lock nuts on the back side of them. Well, there's the trailer socket all installed. Now that works pretty good. Now that I got this all mounted up, I'm going to go ahead and test it. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is check the continuity of the grounds. And I've been testing it on these bolts right here that hold the bumper on. Even with all of the paint and Peralcatone and everything else I put on there, they're actually at a good ground. So if I stick this in there, okay, I got a good ground there. And that one should be power. We got a good ground right there. Oh no, there's the ground there. They just got some resistance right there, so a light bulb will do that. Resistance right there. That one's the ground. Went online just to make sure, and I printed out a page here with a wiring diagram where the wires are supposed to be. And the black should be this one right over here. The ground should be that one right over there, and it is. And that one there is the brake controller. That's got a little bit of resistance through it. Alright, so now I'm going to go turn the key on and the tail light switch. Now I should have power, so I've got to set this over to 25 volts, and I should have power. Let's see, we got tail lights, running lights. Should be that one right there. Yep, got 12 volts there. And then I got 12 volts there. Battery hot lead is dead. Alright, I'm going to turn that one off, and I'll turn the left turn signal on. Alright, left turn signal. There, we got a signal on that one. And let's see, left turn signal should be this one over here. And yep, that one there. Everything else is dead. So we'll do the right turn signal. Yep, that one's working. Right turn signal should be this one right here. Yep, that's it. So I'll go turn that off, and I'll put it in reverse. And the reverse doesn't have anything in this 4-pin connector, but it should be this center connector here. And yes, it is. The brake controller is the bottom right side. I'll check that one. Okay, step on the brake.
Okay.
Alright, turn the brake controller up. The little lever, you know, on the brake controller for the trailer brakes.
Yeah.
You know where that little,
Yeah.
alright, spin that up.
The wrong way. Okay.
Alright, there it's going up. Okay, that's working. Yeah, well, it should be. There's no fluid in these back cylinders, so.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's it. That works. Everything works. What I didn't check here is to see if either one of those license plates lights work, and I don't see either one of them on. No, both those bulbs are burned out. Well, I've put the new receptacle in for the trailer light, and that works. And yesterday I put the new 4-pin connector, the dangly one, in, and that one worked. So I'm happy with that. The cables are kind of loose, dangling down underneath there. A long time ago, when I put that other wiring harness in there for the camper and the new trailer light fixture, there's a hole drilled in one of those arms off of the trailer hitch, and there was a tie wrap in there like this. So it's got one of these little rivets in there, had one of those in there, and there was a tie wrap in there like this. So I got a new one. I'll put that in that thing and tie those wires back up underneath there, and then start neatening that up a little bit.